Hey everyone, welcome to part two of our general practitioner series. As I described in part one, if you've watched it, I'm Jamie from Chuckerfly. We're doing a three-part series here. Part two, I'm going to be tying a classic general practitioner. As I mentioned in part one, invented by some sort of doctor, obviously a general practitioner in England for Atlantic salmon. It is a very prawny looking. Here's one already tied up right here. Prawny pattern on a classic salmon hook. Excellent. It's been a tried and true standby Pacific Northwest pattern for salmon and steelhead. So I'm just going to tie it here, show you here, and then part three we're going to be getting into developing a new modern pattern. There's already lots of modern general practitioner shrimp pies out there, but I'm just going to show you some tips and tricks on how I tie mine. So first off, I've already got the hook in the vise. I've already pinched the barb as I do before I start all my ties. I've got them on, it's a 1/0 salmon hook. Typically, I'd probably go a bit smaller. I'd probably tie this on a 1 or a 2, but just for tying purposes, I want a nice big pattern so you can see what we're doing. I always tie with white GSP. What I will do is, to give it a black head, I will use a magic marker, or I've got some permanent markers that I use in a whole bunch of different colors that I can just color this red. That way I've just got one of my barb. I love using Nano silk. It's real strong thread, real thin. A couple issues with it is it can be quite slippery. Sometimes to get it started, it's good to use wax. Just going to lay a thread base down. Traditionally on these, they would have a little sort of gold tinsel at the back. I don't think it adds too much. You know, it may add a bit of a hot spot. So typically they would just tie sort of a gold tag there. You can do it if you like. I'm just going to skip it. I don't think it adds a whole lot. I'm going to start with some orange deer hair. I'm using sort of more of a burnt orange color, so I'm going to grab some of the darker fur here. If you wanted it to be brighter, you could use the tips. But I'm going to grab sort of a decent clump here, not too much. Is again the classic pattern. Really nice when it's sparse. Being sparse, it means you can throw it on a scanty line. You can throw it on a more of a long belly line too. You're not going to need a big heavy Skagit tip to turn it over. So I'm going to line this up right about there and just start to wrap it in. It's also going to help build up the body a little bit. Let's get it down and nice and tight. And perfect. A lot of times you stack deer hair, but I like it sort of staggered. Gives it a good look as a tail here. I don't think it's necessary. If I was doing maybe like a proper wing where I wanted them all the same, I would throw them in a deer hair stacker. So the next step is we are going to make the eyes of the shrimp. So they're going to sort of go on like that as a V. I'm going to use, I believe this is called Tippet feathers. Basically, it's the head of a golden pheasant. So I'm going to find a nice feather in here. I'm going to pick it out. Struggling to got 2 there, but I just want 1. That's it here. I'm going to strip a lot of the feathers I'm not going to need. Just finding my garbage. Sorry, apologize. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to come in the middle. I'm going to cut out that middle spot. I've got them 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them down there. I want them looking like eyes coming out the back here. So I'm just going to trim this off. It's just sort of annoying me as I'm laying it down. So I want them either side. Come around with a loose wrap, start to pull down, get it where I want. Perfect. And tie it in. So basically it looks like a set of eyes on either side there. That's the effect you're looking for. Trim off the tag. And the next step is I'm going to do sort of, basically I'm going to break this fly down into basically 4 stages. So I've got the backlit tail. So I'm going to grab my golden pheasant chest or neck feathers. Find a feather I want for the back here. That looks good. Strip all the gray part out. Basically, I'm going to lay this down. This is going to look like the shell back of the shrimp. Perfect, right there. Start with a loose wrap. Get it in place. Pull down tight. A lot of the reasons I don't tie a lot of classic patterns is I've got big fat fingers, and I really struggle with feathers. I can't tend to classic fly. I can't sort of put all those zippers together. I clumsy old rugby player with busted and broken up fingers that are sausages. Cool. Trim that off. So next step, I'm going to break this fly up into thirds. I'm going to start with a saddle hackle, burnt orange. And these are going to create the feelers of the prawn. Just trimming off the fuzzy parts. And I'm going to tie it in right here. A couple good wraps to secure it in. Hold it back out of the way for the time being. Trim off the tip. And then I'm going to get some dubbing here. Traditionally, they'd use, steel fur or something like that, but this is the burnt orange I have. Decent clump here. Throw some wax on my thread. Wet my fingers. I find it helps the dubbing loop. And just work a dubbing needle here. We're going to work our way up. So say we're breaking this into thirds. And I think that's probably perfect right there. Grab your hackle and rack it. If you could even want this more sparse, you could even take half of these off. Really your preference. I did a purple one a little while ago, and I ended up stripping half of them off just because it was really big, long, and bushy. I've got a good friend of mine who, one of the better steelhead fishermen I know, he always says he's Italian, name's Emmy. You may know him if you're buddies with me or fish on Vancouver Island. He's always, Jamie, more sparse. And I go, Emmy, is this sparse enough? And he's like, no, more sparse. In an Italian accent. It's quite funny. Yeah. For him, it's never sparse enough. But he catches a lot of steelhead. So what I'm trying to do is just make it flat on the top. I'm just trying to comb it down. I'm making a flat platform for my pheasant feather to lay flat again. So I'm going to go back. Find a decent feather. Lay it down. Loose wrap. Pull tight there. That's right where I want it. That's good. Tie it in. So that's sort of the first stage of the fly. What I'm going to do for the purpose of this video is I'm going to speed up the next two sections. I'm doing exactly the same, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to tie in the head. So very next step again, I'm going to tie in a hackle feather, put some dubbing down, lay a wing, do that here, then also do it on the front section. So I'm just going to speed that up just to make the video a little quicker, but I'm doing exactly what I did, but in 3 stages. So I'll get tying, and you guys watch in, and we'll chat at the end of the video here. Yeah, when we're back. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Again, it's broken down into thirds. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish off the head of the fly here. I've got everything in. Just sort of make a nice tapered head here. Clean up all of the excess dubbing and feathers that are trapped here. Oh. Just going to back off here. I bit down on the head a little too much and cause this feather to pop up. I want it to lay flat. Awesome. Next, I'm just going to find my whip finisher, which is somewhere on my desk. I hope. It's always missing as soon as I need it. There it is. If you don't have your whip finisher, you can just do it with your fingers. You just go with 2 fingers here, and you're just doing basically a half hitch. So nope, got some feathers trapped in it. Let's get them out before I pull tight. Oh, they got in there, but I'll just trim them out. Definitely easier if you use the hooked myself there. Gotcha. So as I say, it looks funny with a white head. Here it is. Just going to grab a black permanent marker. So what's nice about the white is it takes color. Can really make it whatever color I want, and it saves quite a bit of money on having 20 different spools of colored thread. There we go. And next, you could use traditional ply. They would have used like a head cement or like a Sally Hansen's Heart of Nails. Unfortunately, mine has gone missing. I think my kids' wife have stolen it to do their nails. So I've been looking for it for a few days. So I'm just going to use some UV glue here. Gives it a good gloss finish. Makes sure that those threads aren't going to come apart here. A little bit up there. Just let that soak into the thread a bit. Just a piece of thread or something coming out of there. I think that's good. I'm going to hit it with my UV torch here. Nice and hard. There you have it here. So part of my could have done a little better on the wing here, but it's still going to work. When it's in water, it's going to lay flat. Tippet looks like you've got 2 eyeballs on the back there. There you have it. Classic general practitioner fly. Again, probably could have gone a little sparser underneath. Could have maybe stripped those feathers and gone with just one side. But either way, that's going to fish well. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah. Hope we see you over in part 3 where I tie the modern version. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Again, please hit the subscribe button. Please check out our website at checkerfly.com. Check out our merch. We got some great designs on all sorts of apparel, as well as checkerfly mugs, stickers, anything you might need. If there's something you see you'd like to, let me know. Love to hear, and always love to see your thoughts in the comments on the video below. Cheers. Thanks for watching.